When does protection turn into self-sabotage? You see, this comes up so often in our lives because the truth is, it's a very normal response for us to go into the mode of protection. I mean, we all have these innate needs and qualities to protect ourselves, whether it's from harm, whether it's physical, emotional, psychological, or anything in between. It's normal for the mind to want to keep us safe. It's normal for the body to have adverse reactions. But when do we slip into self-sabotage? When does that voice, that relentless voice of criticism and comparison and not enoughness, when does it slowly start to shift our mindset where it's using protection as kind of a little martyr and being like, we're protecting ourselves, but the truth is we are slipping into self-sabotaging behaviors. Take a breath, everyone, because for today's Thursday Tickles, we are diving right in to protection versus self-sabotage. During this Thursday Tickle, I'm going to share with you 5 ways that many of us end up going from protection mode into self-sabotage. Because the truth is, when we can understand what our subtle patterns are, when we're aware of those patterns, then we can really start to take action on breaking out of those patterns and really starting to create new responses in our life. So that way we're not falling into old patterns of self-sabotage, of perfectionism, of not enough. We're really able to embody and be that version of us, that version of freedom of choice that we deserve. Hey everybody, I'm Caminos. I'm embodiment coach, and I'm so excited to be with you, Women of Wisdom on Facebook, and you with the Instagram community. So these Thursday Tickles are meant to be short little times where I tickle you with information for your personal expansion. Why? So you can have more power and choice in navigating all of life's challenges and adventures. If you want more resources around this, longer than 10-15 minutes, click the link in my bio or on this chat, because tomorrow I'll be diving deeper into self-sabotage for my free community event. And I'll tell you more about that at the end. But that being said, if you are ready for these 5 ways, give me a whoop whoop. Ooh, I don't think I heard you. Whoop whoop. Nice. Okay, everybody. So the first way that protection tends to show up actually in shifting into self-sabotage is overprotection. And what I mean by that is when we become so excessively protective that we begin to limit our own growth or our own opportunities. An example could be, let's say that we just take away any risk that could prevent us. So I'm so worried about failing in my business that I don't want to post that video because I look dumb, or I'm afraid that people are going to judge me. And I'm not going to be able to achieve my goals because I sound stupid, or again, that overprotection. I don't want anybody to judge this, so I'm not going to post it. I'm limiting my growth. I'm limiting my opportunity. Maybe we want to go to a party and just kind of socialize and try and make new friends, because we all know it's hard to do that as an adult. But the narrative starts to go, well, what if everyone's not nice? What if everyone makes fun of me? What if I'm the oddball? That's going to be that space of overprotection. And oftentimes that feeling of overprotection gets connected to the second thing that protection uses to kind of move into self-sabotage, or our inner critic tends to grab from protection and move into that self-sabotage space, is fear. Fear of failure specifically tends to be one of the bigger ones. And that fear of failure can be such a powerful motivator, because when we were back in our, tribal days, in our spaces of that deep communion, we were afraid to fail because failure oftentimes meant life or death situations. And even though we've moved away from that tribe time in our life, that neurological, that behavioral pattern response is still deep in our DNA, deep in our ancestral wounds and patterns. So when that self-sabotage voice tends to come in, we often tend to avoid challenges because we're afraid of failing. We're afraid of being judged in that perception. We're afraid that, oh my goodness, if we fail, what if? Boom, instantly back in survival. Because again, that what if, that's survival language. So again, we've got overprotection, we've got fear of failure. The third way that it tends to show up is perfectionism. Perfectionism is often connected to fear of failure as well, or fear of being judged. But perfectionism is really striving for that perfect, really going into that space of self-sabotaging behaviors. And again, perfectionism is setting those unrealistic standards for ourselves with short-lived achievement periods that we fear like we're not measuring up to someone's standards, our self-esteem. is compromised. And so because our self-esteem is compromised, because there's all these underlying nuances of the perfectionist mindset, that part of us that's protective tends to grab it. And that part of us, that inner critic that's fear-based, is going to grab it and turn us into self-sabotage through perfectionist tendencies, like short-lived achievement periods. So if you're watching this, take a moment and celebrate yourself, because I know you do a lot. The other two ways that I want to share with you is isolation. Isolation serves as a protection, again, thinking about feeling like we're in danger when we're out in the open. And if we are not feeling safe in relation to other people, we're going to want to isolate. We tend to isolate ourselves. We don't want to work through the discomfort of our social anxiety or the discomfort of getting dressed or ready or navigating that relentless voice in our head. So we isolate ourselves. We go into even more of the feelings of not enoughness, the feeling of failure. And that's going to be one of the fourth way that it shows up. Okay, last one, number 5, is just a lack of trust. When we are in that protective state, again, a very normal response, we oftentimes, when we move into self-sabotage, we're starting to build walls to protect ourselves from betrayal. This is really a big thing in people, especially women who have been cheated on, whose family was emotionally unstable, whose loved ones haven't been there to kind of meet their needs, and because we have this lack of trust, our protection moves into self-sabotage because we start to build these walls, which impacts isolation because it makes people a little difficult to get closer to us. And we really limit ourselves and our growth and our opportunity in being able to create lasting and meaningful relationships for personal growth, for personal development, for healing. So take a breath, everyone. I know it might have felt like you were drinking from a fire hose, but I really want to share these resources with you because I know how powerful they can be. So again, the 5 things I want you to look out for when you're asking yourself, am I doing this from a place of protection or am I doing this from a place of self-sabotage? Are you overprotecting yourself? Is there a fear of failure that's underlying your decision? Is there perfectionist qualities that are showing up? Are you isolating yourself? Is there a deep fear of trust? Take a breath if any of those resonate. And if you're like, Des, great, now I've got this awareness and I don't know what to do next, take a breath. Again, you can join me tomorrow where I'll be doing a free event where I'm going to share 3 proven and easy tips on how to really start lovingly changing that inner dialogue so you can catch yourself in those moments of self-sabotage and shift, have more of that freedom to choose where you're putting your thought, where you're putting your energy, freedom to really be. So if you want that link, you can even drop the word me in the comments and I'll send it to you directly. And if you're like, I know I need way more than that. I need like high one-on-one support yesterday. Then what I want you to do is just drop Des, my name, DES in the comments, and I'll reach out to you privately again with a little link for a 30-minute call. It's free, it's yours, because I know when it comes to breaking patterns, sometimes we want that individual support. We want that hand holding, and I'm here for it all. Nothing is too much, too sensitive, or too crazy for Des. Bye, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed these Thursday tickles, and I hope to see you tomorrow at the free event starting at 11 a.m. And if not, I'll see you in the community Women of Wisdom, and I'll see you later. Instagram, awkward time where I get off live. Ba-dum-bum, ba-bum-bum. Bye, Women of Wisdom. I love you.